being with us.
Everyone in the background is saying, is he dead? Nolan, wake the up.
Claiming they're sinking and calling for help. And yet, in the background, are we really hearing all of this other activity?
Nobody has ever, none of the kids on this boat have ever admitted that anybody said that they thought Nolan was dead.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the work coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
What'd you say? Hey,
Yes, how far is the water coming up, sir?
it's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
All right, well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir.
I don't know the phone number. It's either. I think it's. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership, like guaranteed. I don't
All
have
right,
the tag
unless
on
you
here.
have a
It got ripped
membership
off.
number or anything, it's okay. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Reach me at.
You are hearing the audio distress call from the boat. That is the boat on which Nolan Wells went to Horn.
Also, during my interview, Harvey boldly confirmed that Nolan was not on the boat that was heading back to the mainland. And I also checked him on that comment because as far as I know, the investigation is not completed yet and no officials have confirmed if Nolan was on the boat or not.
What was your relationship like with Nolan? Who was he to you?
Nolan, I could describe Nolan in a million ways. I mean, Nolan was not just a best friend of me, but he was a brother. I grew up through elementary, middle school, high school, and even our freshman year of college. You know, we talked on the phone all the time. We were really close friends. And I mean, Nolan was like a brother to me. And Nolan lit up every room he walked in. He always had a smile on his face. He always had something good to say. I've never seen Nolan get in an argument with somebody and say bad things about someone. You know, there's a lot of people that talk crap nowadays, and Nolan was never that person. Sweetest soul ever. And I mean, I had a great relationship with Nolan. I've never got in an argument with Nolan. We were super close, and I've never said or will ever have anything bad to say about Nolan Wells.
Yeah, and you guys, you said you kind of grew up together.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know his mom, or how was that? Because I saw in the media where it appears that she may have said, at least I saw in part, that she said as if she didn't know any of you guys.
Right. Well, Nolan a lot of the times was at like my house and at my buddy's house. We never went to Nolan's house and hung out. I mean, and my friend group's very, very tight knit. I mean, we hang out every day when we're back home from school. In high school, we hung out most weekdays and every day on the weekend. And I mean, we were never at Nolan's house, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But I met his father, and I mean, in 8th grade, that's when Nolan and I like got really close. It was COVID year, and we were in class all year long together, me and a couple of my buddies, and Nolan and I just got super tight because we'd get a Waffle House once a week together, eat, and I mean, we were just super, super close. But his dad would swing by Waffle House, you know, and like, you know, hang out around us, but never, you know, I was never around Nolan's parents a lot, but I mean, that didn't change our relationship any. Nolan and I were still just as close, and he was just as close with my friends as, you know, anyone else.
Y'all pretty much having a good time.
Of
Just
course.
like anybody would imagine, 18-year-olds, probably
Right.
20-year-olds,
Right.
college students,
Right.
out on the island,
Right.
women, you know, you probably had alcohol.
Of
So
course,
y'all having
yeah.
a good time.
Yeah, of course.
And so where's Nolan in this? You know, you guys out there, the friend groups are out there, 3 boats full of people that came out there that seem to be the closest friend group.
Right.
Where's Nolan in this in comparison to where you and others are at?
Well, you know, I had a couple conversations with Nolan that day, and I talked to him and a couple of my other buddies. They in a group. I was not focused on anyone solely, like looking and pointing anyone out, because there's so many people out there. I mean, I was talking to my friends that I haven't seen in a while from high school. I was talking from people I knew from college. I was talking to,
There. Horn Island sits roughly 10 miles off the Mississippi coast. A thin barrier island you cannot drive to, cannot walk to, cannot reach at all without a boat and someone willing to bring you back. On the 4th of July, a group of friends made that trip together. Only some of them would come home. They spent the afternoon on the island, the way thousands of people do every summer. Sometime around 3 o'clock, Nolan was last seen by the people who would soon be answering questions about him. What happened next is where the accounts begin to split. According to his friends, Nolan chose to stay behind to keep talking with a 19-year-old named Katie McCormack and told them he would find another way back to shore. Katie's sister, Gracie, has publicly disputed that version, saying Nolan was ready to leave with everyone else. Both accounts cannot be true at once, and figuring out which one is accurate has become one of the central questions of this entire investigation. What is not in dispute is that the boat ran into trouble on the way back. Somewhere out in the Mississippi Sound, it started taking on water, and the family's own account says the group left sometime after 4 o'clock, once the bilge pump gave out. One of the friends called Sea Tow, a private towing company, and reported that the vessel...
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking.
And what do you want to do? Do you want to be towed back?
I want to get this boat unsank and towed back, yes. There are 0 adults on board. Nobody here is over the age of 21.
Thank you so much for having me on. If you put the audio within context, it is an impossibility, unless these people are prophesying that somehow they're saying Nolan's name or projecting that Nolan is somehow injured, hurt, or killed, because we have witnesses that have come out. When I interviewed Warren, a lot of those kids that I talked to already alluded to this way before the audio came out, that they were gone. And people had already saw Nolan after they had left. The young lady, Katie, that he was hanging out with, I saw a text message from her alluding to the fact that she never saw him get on that boat at all. We have video of the boat that we shared on our social media page, and it shows all the occupants on the boat, and Nolan was not there. And so if a person thinks that they've heard something on the audio, they have to compare it with context. Maybe they said, "Is it dead?" talking about items that could potentially have died or damaged on the boat, given the fact that they were sinking. So I think people need to put this in context and reevaluate what they're listening to on the video, because if you are going to make a staunch stance in the wrong direction, in my opinion, by saying they're obviously talking about Nolan, it is incredibly impossible. One more thing, real quick, that when you look at where they were at when they made the phone call and their GPS coordinates, it literally put them on the island. And we know, and not on the physical island, but really close proximity to the island. And we know, because we have another video of Nolan being out there and also all the other boats surrounding him, that this would have had to happen very near to hundreds of people in hundreds of different boats. So somebody would have seen something if there was a dramatic commotion like this occurring on that boat.
I hear what you're saying, Officer Brandon Tatum. That last part that you said, that there were hundreds of people around and they would have seen what happened, that part, I disagree with that. John Mobley joining us, veteran trial lawyer out of South Carolina. John, take off your defense hat one moment and let's address that statement. Do I have to say Tupac? That just comes off the top of my head. Crimes happen all the time in a crowded area and nobody sees anything. Either they say they didn't see anything, or they really didn't see anything, because it all blends in, right? It all blends in.
Nancy, I got to call it like I see it. I think there are two things I want to say to address that. The first part, I would agree with you that, yes, a lot of people can be around and they can notice something, and something can happen rather, and people not see it. However, I think the way that the human mind works, we would all agree, is we perceive things all the time, okay? And we may perceive something that at the time we perceive it, it is not deemed significant. However, in this case, I do believe that if someone did see something that they didn't pay particular attention to involving Nolan Wells, once all of this has come out, the way the mind works is it'll trigger what they saw before because now it becomes significant. Okay, so I do agree that people can perceive things and not pay attention to them, but when something significant happens later, sort of like being robbed.
I preach that same thing to my kids. If you go somewhere with someone, you come back with them, no matter what. Don't let a girl separate you from your safety net. It's plenty of girls. So for them to come back and that be the first thing that come out their mouth, like when they said that, they automatically just it turned me off, but it turned on a question like, I know he wouldn't do that.
Hours. Volunteers joined the effort, including the United Cajun Navy, a group that assists in water searches across the Gulf Coast. One of its leaders was flying a plane above Horn Island when the search finally reached its end. On the morning of July 6, around 8:45, a National Park Service ranger located Nolan in the water near the northwestern end of the island.
See, right now. You know what? I give it to you, Mobley. You're a great trial lawyer. A medical examiner, you ain't. And I don't know why you're saying people are latching onto this, grabbing at straws. I'm looking right at it, man. Should I believe you or my lying eyes? I am looking at the second autopsy. And I have questioned multiple actual medical examiners, actual doctors that say that means something. Put him up again. In what world would the first medical examiner remove Nolan's throat if it did not have something probative about it, something that proves something? Did they remove his toe? No. His elbow? No. His eyeball? His nose? No. They took his throat. Do not tell me that a medical doctor, which you are not, took a throat out of this young man because it means nothing. And then, you know what? I can't even hear you. Straight out to Joe Scott Morgan joining us, professor of forensics, death investigator. That second doctor did not highlight that in red for nothing. That doctor is not grabbing at straws, as Mobley said. I don't know why he's saying that.
No, you're right. He has purpose. We have purpose in everything that we do in the medical legal world. And so when you see this highlighted area, it's unique in the way he has diagrammed it here. He even demonstrates it that it has almost like margins to it, and that's what has left a big question for us, because it's not like it's diffuse all over the place where you've got these kind of spotty alignments. He's got a margin. It almost looks like a rectangle, doesn't it? Well, when we begin to see things like that, we think about patterns, and that's some of the questions that have yet to be answered. But what he does say in his relative to the second examination is that he did a multi-layered dissection. Now, this area had not been dissected by the ME's office in Mississippi. So what he's doing is he's going layer by layer. We're talking about the skin. We're talking about the subcu fat. We're talking about the musculature that's under there. And yes, there is musculature under there. And what his conclusion is, Nancy, is that there's significant decomposition at this point in time. So he cannot make a determination about these markings one way or another. He needs more information. And admittedly, in this second autopsy, he says this is pending investigation. And that's key here.
Okay. Joe Scott Morgan.
Yes.
He, the first medical examiner, removed the throat.
Yes.
No other part of the body, except for the lungs, removed the throat and the lungs. We know why he took the lungs. I don't have to be a death investigator like yourself with 10,000 death investigations under my belt to know why he took the lungs, to see if Nolan drowned. But the fact that someone has a lungs full of water does not tell me how they got in the water. Did he fall? Was he hit? Was he held under? Was it an accident? Did you see that video? Pull it up if you can, control room, of all those ships, all those boats out there. If he was between one of those boats, lost his footing, went under, got the riptide, no one may have noticed. All right? No one may have noticed. Look at all that. And there were apparently
Tyler Perry covered the funeral costs, and former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick paid for an independent autopsy. Nolan's father gave the family's first interview on national television, and their attorney kept the case on cable news night after night. Into that already charged atmosphere dropped one short audio clip. The entertainment outlet TMZ took the released recording, ran it through enhancement software, and published a cleaned-up version. It did not support the theory that started it all. What remains, underneath everything, is the same thing the family began with: an 18-year-old who went to a holiday party and never came home, and a cause of death that still reads undetermined. That answer is coming, one way or another, when the grand jury does its work. We will be here when it does. If you want to know what the evidence actually shows the moment it becomes official, not the version that trends first, subscribe, and we will bring it to you as soon as the facts are real.